Good morning, Unity community. I'm your host, Janet Law, and we welcome you to our gathering here at Unity Center in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. We warmly welcome all people, all faiths, and all lifestyles. Today we stand upon the unceded ancestral lands of the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh peoples, noble guardians of these lands since time immemorial. It's here that we gather to learn, grow, and celebrate our oneness with Spirit. If you're joining us via Zoom or YouTube, welcome. If you're wondering what Unity of Vancouver is all about, our mission is simple. We build personal and community well-being through universal spiritual teachings and practices. So let's get into it right now by starting with our One Power graphic. Please now join me in our opening invocation. All together now. There is one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. The daily word for today is discover. As I discover, I learn and grow. My life is a journey of discovery, and over the years I may have traveled to other lands, discovering new cultures and landscapes. Through my explorations, I have learned all kinds of things and grown in all kinds of ways. My spiritual life has been a journey of discovery as well. Through my spiritual practice, I have deepened in my understanding of God and of myself as a spiritual being. I have discovered new landscapes within myself as I have communed with God in prayer and have changed my life through the power of my thinking. As long as I live, I will find more to discover. Questioning, learning, and growing help me discover the wonders within and all around me. And from Jeremiah 33:3, call to me and I will answer you, and will tell you great and hidden things that you have not yet known. Beautiful. And so today, Maitreyi is speaking about living in union with the divine. And so let's get ready ourselves by consciously tuning into this idea of oneness and union with the divine with these 5 powerful affirmations. And let's do it with zeal and enthusiasm, because we are a powerful collective intention group, aren't we? And we can shift the future. So all together now, I embrace the infinite within me. Spirit guides my day. I practice love and know divinity. In forgiveness, I am one with Spirit. Faith leads me into ever more perfect union. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. And now please join me in the singing of our new English translation of the Aramaic version of the Lord's Prayer.
Holy Spirit, creator of life and all, you create a space inside us and fill it with your presence. Our oneness now prevails. Your one desire flows through ours as energy fills all forms. You give us this day our physical and spiritual nourishment. You untangle the knots of air that bind us as we also release each other. We don't let appearances your presence comes a glorious harmony of life. Now these words are fertile ground from which our future grows. Amen.
Please be seated. If you would like a copy of the Aramaic prayer that we just sang, you will find blue cards in the seat backs in front of you. Please feel free to take one with you. And now it is my pleasure to welcome back Yogacharini Maitreyi. Today I love that I get to introduce someone that most of us already know and love. Yogacharini Maitreyi is originally from South, where she has been honored with many titles, all of which acknowledge the gifts as a spiritual teacher. In fact, Maitreyi was one of the youngest individuals ever to be invited to sit on the World Yoga Council Advisory Board. Maitreyi also has practical pointers for those genuinely seeking greater love and union in their lives. She also last year was chosen as one of our workshop leaders for the Unity Canada Conference, so she is very well loved across the country. We would love now to please give her a warm Unity welcome to Yogacharini Maitreyi.
Thank you, Janet, for that beautiful welcome, and thank you all for being here. The first part is the meditative session, but I also wanted to speak to the share that we had a little conversation, Brian and I, about the mudra he learned in a breathwork session. So I was like, yeah, I'll just shift course a little bit and talk about that. So a mudra is a gesture. It could be a face gesture, it could be a hand gesture, it could be a gesture of the mind. And through those gestures, we can also create union. And he showed me this gesture this morning. And this mudra is called the Jnana mudra, the mudra of wisdom. And what we're doing in this particular mudra is that we're joining the individual consciousness. Each of these fingers also represent the elements, the Pancha Mahabhuta as we call them, that is earth, water, fire, air, and space, which are the building blocks of the material universe. Of course, we need consciousness to infiltrate it. So this particular finger is the air finger. And air is flighty. Sometimes we can be quick to judge. It's also the ego finger. So it could be the finger that points. It could be the finger that kind of judges. And so what we're doing is we need discernment, but at the same time, this is the finger, the fire of consciousness, the great spirit, however you want to call God. You know, some people have, nowadays, they have a negative connotation with God. So you can choose whatever term you want to use. So bringing or joining of this actually is the joining of the individual with the fire of consciousness, with the divine.
Think of all the hearts beating in the world at the same time. Think of all the faces telling stories of our lives at the same time. Think of all the eyes looking out into the world make some sense of what they see. Think of all the ways there are of seeing. Think of all the ways there are of being. Think of all the children being born into the world at the same time. Feel your lungs surround them. Through the years they'll need to grow at the same time. Dreams that can come true. If the hands we're reaching with could come together, joining me and you. When it comes to thinking of tomorrow, we must protect our fragile destiny. Precious life, there's no time to borrow. The time has come to be our family. Think of all the love that is pouring from our hearts at the same time. Our love could shine around this world at the same time. Think what we've been given, just think what we could lose. All of life is in our trembling hands. It's time to overcome our fears and join to build a world that loves and understands. It helps to think of all the hearts beating in the world and hope for all the hearts beating in the world. There's a healing music in our hearts, beating in the world at the same time.
Thank you so much. That was so beautiful. All the hearts beating at the same time. And that's the union we're seeking as we practice yoga. So if we were to look at the word yoga, it comes from the root Sanskrit, the Sanskrit root yuj. And if you look at the English words union, if you look at community, if you look at unity, if you look at Holy Communion, they all have their roots in this word yuj. And so as we're sitting, as we're meditating in our meditative practice, the unity that we were seeking was with different aspects of ourselves. We were seeking unity with our physical body, We were seeking unity with our emotional bodies, with our energetic bodies, with our minds, so that we are not discarding any aspect of ourselves. So in yoga, we embrace all aspects of ourselves, and that's the beauty. And of course, embrace it in the presence of the divine. And that is the true communion or wholesome communion that we are seeking. That is the holy communion. Now, how do we go about it? Now, there are many texts in the yogic scriptures or yogic lineages. There's not one like the Bible or one like the Quran, because it was a land of many researchers. They said, oh, we need to sit with it, and sometimes I can disagree with you. So there was a lot of option to disagree. There was no one scripture there. So one of the books, or one of the texts, was the Yoga Sutras, and this is over 2,000 years old, which codified. Again, it was not the originator of yoga. There was the Bhagavad Gita, which was over 5,000 years. There was the Yoga Vashishta, which was over 7,000 years, the Upanishads, which were over 10,000 years, the Vedas, which were over 15,000 years. So there was a whole history of all of this. But the Yoga Sutras, therefore, is considered a relatively new text. And in this relatively new text, what Patanjali did was very succinctly, he gave us principles to create or principles to follow for the purpose of union. And so he tells us that there are many, many parts to us, not just one part. There could be the part that's traumatized, there could be the part that's sad, there could be the part that feels we don't have support, and then there could be the joyous part, the generous part. One day we feel generous, one day we feel a little contracted. So all these parts have to be looked at, some transformed, some embraced, and brought into union as well, so that as a whole we can be in union with the divine. So he starts off the Yoga Sutras with the principle, Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So Chitta is this mind complex, and there are many, many layers to the mind. And he says this mind has vrittis. Vrittis are aberrations, or it could be waves, or it could be agitations, or it could be tornadoes. And he says that the way to calm the vrittis of the mind is what yoga is. So he beautifully states what it is, and then he goes on to teach us how to do it in a step-by-step manner. And right along the way, he's not a very dogmatic teacher. He says, try this and see what happens. And then if it works, great. If it doesn't work, okay, try something else. But try it for a period of time, and then you will know what happens. So one of the things he talks about is the breath. One other thing he talks about is, again, this capacity for stillness. And whenever the mind is agitated, then we lose capacity for stillness. And that's why all these practices are there to release the agitation of the nervous system, to release the agitation of the mind. So it is likened to clear waters. Think of a lake that is clear, and in that clear, beautiful lake, we can see our true reflection, that we are the reflection of the divine. And we can also see deep. But if the lake is murky, it's agitated, then we can't see what lies in the bottom, what lies right through our unconscious. We're unable to see our true motivations. We're unable to see our traumas. We're unable to see what is it that is the resistance that is sitting there from doing what we're meant to do. So this clarity of sight, this clarity of seeing comes or becomes more and more as the lake stills. And like I said, one of them was the breath, the techniques he gives. One of them is to intone certain sounds. We saw that sounds also reset the nervous system. And one main thing he talks about is how to connect with community. So this holy communion, this wholesome communion we were talking about, and he gives us 4 principles to connect with community. So the first one he says is Maitreyi. Now Maitreyi, again, my name is a derivative of Maitreyi, is the derivative of this word Maitreyi, which means friendliness. So he says, be friendly to all, especially the ones who are happy and who are joyous. Be even more friendly to them. Don't kind of feel jealous or feel off. Oh, how come they're so happy all the time? You know, or whatever's running in your head. So he gives us this dictum. He says, just follow these principles for some time, and you'll see that there is a calming of this lake of the mind that happens. And I was speaking to May. Yeah, there she is. So we had a conversation, and she was talking about the happy Buddha, the Buddha whose heart is open with love. And his name is also Maitreya. Of course, mine is the feminine, it's Maitreyi. So it's a common Indian name. And I don't know if you've seen the Netflix, thing, Never Have I Ever. It's a serial. So thanks to that actress, she's pretty young, but her name is Maitreyi. So now my name has become popular when I go on. People are like, oh, we know that name. You know, that actress, her name is Maitreyi. It's on Netflix. So yeah, so Maitreyi has its roots in this word friendliness. It has its roots in this expansiveness, heart expansiveness, and it also has its roots as one of the names of the sun. So the sun that shines on everyone, irrespective of who they are. It shines without any sort of partiality. So Patanjali says for this calm lake to happen, the first is Maitri, be friendly towards all, especially those who are happy and well in the world. The second, he asks us, is to have or cultivate the quality of karuna. Now, karuna is usually translated as compassion. And you can say compassion, yes, but the English word falls a little bit short, because if you say compassion, you can feel compassion for someone, whereas kara, the root word in Sanskrit, comes from the word hand. So kara means hand. So it's a doing verb. Karma also has the same root. So my thoughts, words, actions, whatever I do, have a cause and effect. That is my karma. Kriya, any action for the purpose of purification. We do a lot of kriyas in yoga to shift old karma, to shift old patterns, to shift those patterns could be physical, emotional, mental. So this word kara, and therefore karuna, means that it is actionable compassion. So Patanjali tells us the second thing to build and be in community is to cultivate, if we don't have, then cultivate karuna. And karuna is actionable compassion. So if I see myself, and this karuna starts with oneself through karuna sakshi bhava. And karuna sakshi bhava means witnessing, this attitude of witnessing. So with great compassion, we witness ourselves. And when we witness ourselves, we have the capacity to see, as with the meditative practice, how is my body feeling? How are my shoulders? Am I shouldering too much? And out of great compassion, we can simply shrug our shoulders. So let's all do this together. Even my shoulders I've been working on the computer. And let's release that. So let's do this again. Breathe in, shrug the shoulders, and roll the shoulders back. Breathe in, shrug the shoulders, and roll the shoulders back. So he gives us these micro steps. You don't have to create great change. He says karuna can be in small incremental changes that lay the foundation of a quantum leap. It doesn't have to be that we seek out the spectacular. And unfortunately, sometimes in New Age spirituality, that's what it becomes. We want God in his $1,000 suit, to come, or his sparkly whatever our idea is. Because when I came to North America, that was something I found a little hard to digest. 2-day enlightenment workshop, I'm like, what am I doing here studying with my guru for years and years? So sometimes we might seek out, that sort of instant gratification or instant promises, and Patanjali warns us against that. He says, no, just step by step, find joy. Find joy in the small things. Find joy in the small ways that you can express karuna or compassion to yourself. Sometimes it's just shrugging your shoulder. Sometimes it's carrying a bottle of water and hydrating yourself through the day. Sometimes it's just Brian very compassionately turned on the heat yesterday. I was like, oh, it's warmer than usual in this space today, and he's turned up the heat. So we could do these little things that speak to compassion for ourselves and compassion for others. And that is what karuna is. It is actionable compassion, not just the feeling, but acting in ways that will alleviate the suffering of ourselves and others. And this is what Tantra and Yoga speak about. How can we move from this space of suffering to savoring? And it's all these step-by-step things. And the third thing he says, so there are 4 in total. So we saw first was Maitreya, which is similar to my name, friendliness. Second is actionable compassion. And the third is mudita. Now, if somebody is generous and they donate a lot to society or do good, then Patanjali says, delight in that, celebrate that. You don't have to do good, but if you see somebody doing good in community, then celebrate them, exalt them, and just be there for them. So this mudita is what he speaks of, which is also very necessary to build community. And this is, again, a constant reminder in us to celebrate this do-gooder in us and to also celebrate the good others do. And the fourth that he mentions is upeksha, which is indifference. And again, with indifference, a lot of people might argue with me or Patanjali. I mean, I didn't write the text, but they'll say, oh, indifference towards what? And then he says, there might be people who are triggering. There might be people who do apunya. Punya is good deeds. Apunya is anything that agitates the nervous system, that creates disharmony, ripples of disharmony, who are adharmic, who don't do what they're meant to do. So with such people, he says, have equanimity. Cultivate equanimity. And so this is also a cultivatable attitude. And he says, as we do that, the ripples of your mind will still, it will not be agitated. And for whenever somebody comes to me with the news, that's what I constantly remember. I remember what Patanjali says. Yes, the news can be agitating, it can be polarizing, and yet can I come back to myself? Or it could be somebody who's just really annoying. You're like, how many times, have I told this person they shouldn't be doing this? And then you come back to Patanjali's cultivation for self that he asks of us. It has nothing to do with the other person. He says this is what you need to cultivate to be in harmony with yourself and also to be in communion and in community. This is the foundation of being in communion with the divine. He ties it all together. So I'm like, oh, okay, I can't escape this world. It's not like I can go sit in a cave and meditate and become enlightened. Of course, that's a valid path as well. But if we're living in community, he says, this is very necessary for us to cultivate. So I'll repeat the 4 again. We have the Maitri, which is the friendliness, especially to those who are happy and joyous. And then we have the action or this attitude of actionable compassion, karuna, towards those especially who are suffering. So we can also, if it is us, then we move from suffering to savoring. Then we have the third, which is mudita, or delight, delighting and celebrating in the good. And then we have equanimity. And this equanimity, he says, is very, very important. It's not like we don't stand up against what is wrong. We speak up for what is right. All of those aspects are there. And yet, can we do it with equanimity? Can we do it without losing our minds and, kind of going berserk? And all the practices he mentions are for the purpose of maintaining this equanimity and this equanimous attitude. So we'll do a few practices that he recommends, but I'll also teach a few from my tradition. But before that, I just wanted to read. I've been compiling a few things from what I've written 25 years ago. And it's interesting, I've rediscovered this poem, which is called The Eternal Embrace. There is a space where I'm neither man nor woman. And this poem I had written when I just started traveling and teaching. I was in Europe when I wrote this, so I'll read it again. The Eternal Embrace. There is a space when I'm neither man nor woman, young nor old. No color, no race, not even a face. All I feel is my heart bursting with love, holding the divine and you in a long, warm embrace. So we're going to hold ourselves in long, warm embraces, but we're also going to walk around and see whether we want to be in community or not. If you don't want physical touch, you can just do a namaste, which is also I bow to the divine in you. Nama is name and te is you, so nama is to bow. So we're bowing not to the personality, but to the universality in the other person. So I'm going to request everybody to just stand up, and let's just move around. So we have two options, or both. We bow to the person and just stay there and take in their presence, or we also give them a hug and take 3 deep breaths. Sometimes we give a very quick hug because we don't know. And again, check in with the person in front of you. Do you want a hug, or is this sufficient? We're just going to walk around. We're actually going to do it. So you can stop. You can either just do a namaste, and if you feel the other person wants a hug, or you want a hug, or you feel open, then hold them and take 3 deep breaths. See if you're able to stay in that presence of sinking into friendliness, of sinking into actionable compassion, of delighting in their presence, absolute delight. And maybe there are 1 or 2 things that might be annoying if you know the person and say, oh, I'm just going to be equanimous towards that. Maitreya, friendliness. Karuna, actionable compassion. Mudita, delight. See if you can delight in that person. And maybe if there are some irritants, see if you can be equanimous and stay with that. And if you don't want to hug and breathe with that person, that's totally fine. You can just do a namaste, and that is totally valid. It's beautiful to see those hearts come together, which is the soul dance we're seeking. As I connected with you, I felt my heart flutter to sense your depth. What a delight to feel your love for the light. I sighed as my body relaxed into knowing you did not want to possess, that you felt the great spirit in you. You felt the unfettered, all-encompassing magnitude. You recognized that beautiful spark in you and hence saw it in me. In that recognition lay true beauty, the beauty of untainted love, where you can truly dance with me. And this is the beauty that Patanjali speaks to, and I'd written this about 20 years ago, dedicated to all who want to dance in the light and in lightness with one another, as I was building community in different parts of the world. And that's why I feel I'm ever grateful for not just my gurus, but the lineage that came before of all these people who had researched human consciousness. And they had lots of time, no TV, no distractions like we do, where they sat with this all their lives. And the Panchatantra is also one of such fables. I was reading a few months ago where the Panchatantra is like fables. It's like stories for children so that they also understand simple spiritual concepts, but also real-time practical concepts through animal stories. And I'm going to leave you with one very simple story, because as I traveled to India this year, I went to visit my guru, and the lineage, the gurus, usually they are burnt in India, but when somebody has done a lot of spiritual work, they are buried. And in this madam, the lineage of about 8-9 gurus are buried, so their energy is very, very strong. And I'd taken one of my students, Ross, also with me, and he was a bit surprised to see just one other person there, because the temples in India are crowded. They're just full, because a temple is a place where you can go and ask, say, cry, you can say, oh, life's not going well, but a madam is a place where you have to take responsibility and do the work for union. And so I was telling him the difference and saying, yeah, not many people want to do that these days. Not many people want to come to a madam, take responsibility, sit, and actually change their own attitudes. It's easier to ask. So as Janet and I were speaking, and she was saying, oh, I was part of this church when there wouldn't be a single seat in this church. That is what I thought of. I thought of the same madam, where this is a church where you're asked to come, take responsibility, and do the work to live in union with the divine. It's not a church of dogma. It's not a church of saying, you're sinners. So my intention is that places of consciousness and places of self-responsibility and beautiful community thrive and grow. And there's a story, again, from the Panchatantra that says that we need to develop courage to reap the benefits of this self-work. And this beautiful short story is about a jackal who goes around at a place where there was war, and he goes and looks at, what he can scavenge. And of course, where the war happened, there's nothing to scavenge. But in the army camp, the camp that won, there were drums and a few things left behind. So the drum kept beating, but there were no people. So the jackal, it's like a fox in India, thinks, okay, do I need to go and explore, or will somebody kill me and will I become meat the next day? So it slowly steps, it doesn't see people, slowly steps, take one step at a time, and then finally reaches the camp, which is abandoned because they won, and therefore, they abandoned a few things and left. And it found the drum was being beaten by a stray branch, which was close to it. And it found a lot of supplies, food, everything, and it reveled. So this is a cute story for kids to say that sometimes we need to have courage to explore, not just explore the outside world and become an explorer, but also to explore the in our world, and then the fruits are many, just like this jackal who found a lot of food and goodies there. So I'll leave you with this message of the jackal, that all of us need to become courageous like this jackal, but we don't have to take mega steps. We can just take mini steps, micro steps like this little jackal, and find our way back inwards, creating union with all parts and creating union with community, as Patanjali gives us these 4 guidelines, and therefore finding union with the divine. Thank you, everyone. It's been a joy being here.
Thank you very much. There's a new church on the horizon, made of light, not of stone, calling out to all creation, you are not alone. Lions and lambs, saints and sinners, best of friends, enemies, woman and man, losers and winners, they're all in you and me. We are one heart, looking for answers. We are one soul, finding our way through the dark. One dream we share together. We are all a part of one heart. Out in the cold, there are faces hidden by the wind and the rain. Hold out your hand, someone will take it and bring you home again. We are one heart, looking for answers. We are one soul, finding our way through the dark. One dream we share together. We are all a part of one heart. Around the world today, all fires are burning, tears are falling from the sky, and still the world keeps on turning. We are one heart, one soul, one dream we share together. We are all a part. We are one heart, looking for answers. One soul, finding our way through the dark. One dream we share together. We are all a part. We are all a part. We are all a part of one heart.
Wow. Give it up one more time for the amazingly talented Jay Krebs and Leora Cash. And thank you, Maitreyi. Oh my goodness. Wow. You know, unity, community starts one person at a time, and you actually was an example of that today. You had everybody up, greeting people. But the thing I loved the most was the practice, those 4 things, those 4 beautiful principles that we can take into our world, which is really a prayerful state of mind. We are moving meditations, and we are moving prayers. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So we have some great unity events coming up. And so the first one we want to remind everyone of is, and we're going to show a video, is our Woodstock event. So are you going to play this video now? Wow. We all want you to know, too, that we're not having the Woodstock night outside in the rainy Vancouver weather, but actually we're having it right here in this beautiful sanctuary. Tickets are on sale on Eventbrite and are selling very quickly. And I know what you're thinking. What can I do to make this the best concert that we have ever hosted? Well, there's a couple of small things you could do. If you're on our email list, you received a link to this video on Friday night. So if you would simply forward the email to any friends, we would be eternally grateful. And if you're going to Woodstock night, or even thinking of going, when your next Unity email comes, be sure to click the Facebook button and click on Going or Interested. There are two very easy and very powerful ways to support your spiritual center in this way. And include your friends in this great entertainment that we are offering here at Unity. I now would like to call up Terry Collette just to give us a little quick synopsis of the auction that we have just finished up.
Janet, thank you. And look at, we have just completed our second auction, folks, and great success. So, first of all, this is a bit short synopsis. Thank yous to everyone. First of all, to Covenant House as a wonderful partner. They, and as you know, the fabulous work that they do for the youth in Vancouver. So thank you for them to be a wonderful partner. And in fact, in this case, thanks to Roy's participation and early involvement, he engaged them and engaged their social media platform. So we were reaching out to about 20,000 other people via social media. In addition to this, as you can imagine, Roy and I, collectively, we got about 100 items on there, so we were out pounding the street. As a result of that, there's a lot of items on the auction site, so my thanks to all those people who provided feedback to me on stuff that I missed as I'm putting the stuff on the auction site. Then, there's also the silent team. The silent team, in this case, was the guy who does out the communications, who sends out and helps in other aspects, and that's none other than Randy Purcell. So it's a big thanks to Randy Purcell. And thanks to all of you who participated here or out in digital land, who has looked at the auction, got excited about it, opened your wallets, and actively bid. So thank you to all of you. Now, this, by the way, is a perfect example of Unity principle. It moves from an idea to a thought to an action. So the idea was that someone came to the board a couple years ago and said, let's do an auction. And he was really keen this year. So that is Roy Prevost. So a big thanks. Roy's out there. Big thanks to Roy, because we are here and we have actually raised more money this year than we did last year. So it was very successful. Thank you to all who were involved.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Yes, thank you again. We are holding a full moon ceremony circle on Wednesday, November the 5th from 7 till 8:30, so please join us on the lower level for a gentle full moon release. Together we'll reflect on what has come to fruition, release what is ready to be let go of, and ground into this sense of balance and ease, and all are welcome. The gathering is by donation, and if you would like, optionally, you can bring a sacred object to place on the shared altar space. Do you have a challenge to resolve? Well, do you have a goal that you would like to achieve? If so, please join us on Sunday mornings to our Mastermind Prayer Circle. It's a great way to experience the power of unity prayer. Our Mastermind meeting happens every Sunday downstairs in the meditation room at 10 o'clock, and we would love to have you join us. We also have our Course in Miracles study group, and it is live here in the center every Tuesday from 12:30 to 2:30. And just in case you missed it, we are very excited to announce the return of our Reflective Round Table program. Reflective Roundtable is a welcoming space where you can get to share your perceptions and reflections of today's service while practicing reverential listening. It's a great way to grow and quicken your spiritual growth. Please join us on the lower level after the service and take part in this meaningful conversation. And today's facilitators are Margaret McLeod, and I think we have one table today, although I do see someone in the back that may be doing a second table, but we've got that for you today. Also, wanted to let everybody know that we have some exciting things coming up in November too. We've got a sound bath coming up, and we also have a prosperity workshop in person and also online, and you'll hear about that next week. Finally, our sacred service. We are inviting volunteers to join in the hospitality sacred service team in particular. And there are openings in other teams as well. Please go to the bookstore after the service to register or sign up. I'll be there to answer any questions you might have, and we do have a sign-up sheet there. Today's affirmative prayer chaplains are Melba Burns, Kay Ming Lin, Raymond Lancaster, and Carolyn Conlon. And if anyone does want language translations, we're going to have them stand. I don't know where Raymond went, but, oh, there he is. Hi, Raymond. Good to see you. Good to see you. We also have translations in Mandarin if there's anyone here who would like prayers in Mandarin. Carolyn Conlon, again, is on Zoom. If you would like to receive a confidential prayer, our chaplains will be waiting for you here at the front row after the music. And today, on your way down, please join us for tea, coffee, cookies, and conversation. Be sure to join us next Sunday, and I will be giving the talk next week, and it's about building community in unity, and you're going to learn and practice the arc of consciousness. So be here next week. We would love to have you. And now we are bringing our gathering to a close, and please stand and let us sing together, first of all, our prayer for protection, and then our peace song. So together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And join us in singing.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. And with God
And if you are on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. We send you our love and look forward to seeing you next week. If you're on Zoom and would like to pray confidentially with a chaplain in a private room, please accept your breakout invitation, which will pop up on your screen shortly. Thank you so much for joining us. See you all next week, and God bless.